Don't ever compare that man to Reinier de Ridder ever again. This is the same guy, by the way. This is the same guy that just quit on Brendan Allen. He's done this in the past. So Reinier de Ridder, all jokes aside, what was this from RDR? You guys know I picked RDR to win. Now, I'm not really salty about my pick. I don't care about my picks. I really don't. Because there's plenty of times I'll pick somebody to win and then I'll root for the other guy. That happens. I'm not even salty at all. I'm just confused. What was this performance? If you guys watched this fight, like I'm sure most of you did, you would know why I can't even speak. You would know why I'm so confused. My voice is kind of shot. I did a long stream, by the way, so bear with me. But Reinier de Ridder, it wasn't even as if Brendan Allen had an extraordinary performance where he just pieced up RDR. He got one slam on him. So it's just like, ooh, but other than that, nothing. It wasn't like he was piecing him up and then he really left him real bloodied and then he had him in a few sub attempts. After round 2, Reinier de Ridder was completely exhausted from nothing. From nothing. That's why I titled this the biggest upset of the year ? Because it wasn't even one of those where, Brendan Allen caught him in a sub or caught him with a knee up the middle and RDR just went to sleep and it's a bit of a fluke KO or something. No. It was literally Reinier de Ridder. He had a really great first round where he kind of dominated RDR, Charles Oliveira style with his grappling. I was like, you know what? This is looking good. Then round 2 happens and I'm like, oh, you know what? This is looking bad. Then round 3 happens and I'm like, oh my God, he's about to lose a decision to Brendan Allen. Then he doesn't even get up. I think it's after round 3. He stays down to where I'm thinking, like I showed you the clip at the beginning, I just think he simply wanted the ref to stop it or something. He quit. I don't like to use that word often because these guys are fighters, and unless you're Anthony Smith, I'm not going to clown on you for, look, they're fighters. These guys are tough human beings. They're getting beat up by the best fighters on the planet. But he quit. There's no other way of putting it, bro. I'm spitting everywhere. Sorry. I don't think you guys can even see it, but there's no other way of putting it. He quit. He did. He simply just quit. He barely gets up. His corner, they can't drag him up, right? It's not like the Yoel Romero thing. So he forcefully gets himself up. He's exhausted. And then they go to the corner, in round 4 before round 5, and they just call it. They ask RDR, are you okay or something? And I think he says no. Or can you continue or something? And he says no. And then the ref just calls it. He was done. Now, I think it was the right call, obviously, because, again, I think he told his corner, I'm not okay, or maybe it was his corner's decision. I don't really know exactly. Good choice, because he was done. This was one of the worst performances I've ever seen from somebody who was such a big favorite going into this fight. Pretty much, I know a few people did pick Brendan Allen. Someone actually came in my comments and told me they did, and that, you'll see, man, you'll be wrong. So shout out to that person. So I know a few people did pick him, but come on, 95% of people did pick RDR to win. Thought it would be easy. I thought it would be easy. This was a massive upset, but this was just one of the worst performances I've ever seen from someone who was a massive favorite. It really was. It would have not been as bad if he just got KO'd or submitted. But to have a great first round and then basically gas for the rest of the fight while you're just being held down and just, look, he got cut with an elbow above his eye or under his eye or wherever, but that was it. He wasn't his nose was smashed and his teeth were, no. The guy went 5 rounds at Robert Whittaker. I assumed he could go 5 rounds with a short notice Brendan Allen, but I guess not. The sport makes no sense. You could say it's cope. Maybe it is. But it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And the thing is, I think Brendan Allen is great. I've always thought he was great. I just thought he had bad fight IQ. But maybe he's improved on his fight IQ. I guess he has Barlow in his corner, so maybe that's something. I just don't get it. It's such a confusing fight to me, but it was what it was. RDR looked terrible. Don't ever compare him to Dricus du Plessis ever again. Dricus du Plessis in that 5th round against Khamzat Chimaev ran. He ran to Khamzat Chimaev. Threw kicks and punches. Almost submitted Khamzat Chimaev in round 5. RDR, what did he do? He didn't even make it to the 5th round because he quit on the stool. like a baby. I'm sorry, he did. My voice is completely gone. But he did. He really did, bro. So Brendan Allen, of all people, was the guy to fraud check Reinier the Ritter. Now, I'm going to give some reasons why I think RDR did kind of gas so fast, though, before, we move on to the other fights. I think it could be a case of the weight cut. You got to think, right? This is his 5th fight in under a year, in under 12 months. I think this is his 5th fight in 13 months? Because he fought GM3, then he fought Kevin Holland, then he fought Bo Nickel, then he fought Whitaker in a 5-rounder. Now he's already back in here with Brendan Allen. Imagine what Fluffy would have done, by the way, but that's a whole other thing. Could be the weight cut. Just constantly cutting down to middleweight, constantly cutting. He looks like Alex Pereira. He's 6'2". He's a giant. He's massive for middleweight. He's a bit of a weight bully, honestly. Could be that. Could just be too much activity. I don't know what it is. I've never seen someone gas that fast, especially a guy like RDR who, in round 1, I was like, this guy could actually give problems to Khamzat. Then, coming out of the fight, I'm like, this guy wouldn't even give problems to, I don't know. It's crazy how you go from beating Robert Whitaker, a guy who I still rate very highly, and now people are going to say, well, Whitaker was washed and old. No, Whitaker is still extremely good. That's why this is confusing, because what people are going to do, this is what I hate. What people are now going to do is they're going to say, wow, how bad is Whitaker? No, that's what makes this confusing. Whitaker isn't bad. He's extremely good. It's just how, I don't even know what to, sport makes no sense. Sport shit. Brendan Allen won. Got my pick wrong. It is what it is. Give him DDP next. Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. I got my pick right on this one. I said Mike Malott via a decision, I believe. This fight was kind of odd. I feel like Kevin Holland was milking the low blow, guys. I don't know. I feel like he was milking it. And I feel like if it was Mike Malott that got low blowed, I wouldn't say he was milking it. If it was RDR that got low blowed, well, then again, he probably would milk it because he's so exhausted, I guess. RDR, that is. But if it was a lot of other fighters that were on this card, I wouldn't say, oh, they're milking it. But Kevin Holland kind of felt like he was milking it to me. I know people are going to say, no, he was hitting he was hit. I do think he was hit. It wasn't like it didn't hit him. But he was just I don't know, man. It's Kevin Holland, bro. This is the same guy with the 45-70 shit. He is the kind of guy that would milk a low blow. But he lost, so it is what it is. Mike Malott, I want him to look a little bit better. I think you should be looking better against a guy like Kevin Holland. I think if I'm supposed to believe that you can beat highly ranked welterweights, then you should be able to handily beat Kevin Holland. But it is what it is. I do think Kevin Holland has a great chin because Mike Malott was landing some good shots on him. I thought it was a clear win for Mike Malott. Good performance. I picked him to win a decision. He did, so nice. Marlon Vera versus Aiemann Zahabi. I picked Aiemann Zahabi to win. I actually thought he won this fight, to be honest. I know some people are saying they think it's a robbery. They thought Marlon Vera won. I kind of disagree with that. I gave it to Zahabi. I will say, though, Marlon Vera looked good. He looked a lot more aggressive. I like that. Pause. He fought a lot more on the front foot. He didn't fight like a scared baby. With that being said, Aiemann Zahabi is just objectively tough. You have to give it credit. I know he looks weird. I know he fights a little bit goofy. I know he has no personality. There's really nothing to like about the guy, no offense. But he is good, and he is a dog. That's probably something to like about him is he is a dog. And he could have kind of just, gave up. Because I think Marlon Vera, the way that the momentum was shifting, it would have probably just been a Marlon Vera win, right? Because I thought Zahabi won the first. I thought Vera won the second. I thought Zahabi won the third. That's how I would score it, personally, if I'm remembering correctly. And after round 2, I was like, oh, Vera might finish him in round 3. But Zahabi was, really aggressively just throwing back. He was like, fuck that. And I like that energy. That's very different than Reinier the Ritter's energy, which is just, I'm going to quit on the stool to Brendan fucking Allen anyways. That's great energy. And I think he's a dog. So you guys got to show my boy Ariel some respect. Now, he's awesome, though. Great fight. This was a really fun scrap. Really fun scrap. I gave it to Zahabi. I didn't think it was a robbery. I picked Zahabi to win, but Chito Vera looked good. He did storm out the cage, though, so hopefully he doesn't kill himself. I don't know. Manon Fiorot versus Jasmine. I picked Jasmine to win. I thought that she would submit Manon Fiorot. She didn't. Manon Fiorot just KO'd her with a fluke. No, I'm kidding. A WMMA TKO, man. It was a little bit of an early stoppage, I feel, but, it was fair. It is what it is. She caught her. Not really much to say here. Cool. Manon Fiorot, I guess. Charles Jourdain versus Davey Grant. This one made me very sad. I am a Charles Jourdain fan, but I also am a Davey Grant fan. I picked Davey Grant to win a decision. I said that it would be a really fun scrap. Before the finish, it was a fun scrap. Charles Jourdain is a monster. I'm a fan of Charles Jourdain, so I'm not like really sad about this one, but I am a fan of Davey Grant as well, so I am sad about this one. But Charles Jourdain is a dog. I could tell that he was kind of spamming the flying knee, and I was a bit worried about that. But like when he landed it that second or I think third time, which is when he dropped him, and then he went for the sub, I was like, all right, I could tell he was setting it up, but I was like, I don't know, man, should he be doing that? But then he landed it. So Charles Jourdain landed that sick flying knee, and then he went for like a guillotine. I think he got like a guillotine submission or something on Davey Grant. Davey Grant was already hurt though, so the submission was just like the cherry on top of like the pain. Charles Jourdain is actually going to be something at bantamweight, in my opinion. We could have something here. We actually could have something. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. Imagine Charles Jourdain, this sick monster, this sick fighter, would be the guy to like beat a Marab. That'd be awesome. Charles Jourdain is one of my favorite guys that are sort of, outside the rankings. He's pretty underrated in my opinion. So yeah, Charles Jourdain, I picked him to lose, but I'm glad to be wrong. Kyle Nelson, Matt Frevola. This truly made me question the reffing in this company because after round one, I mean, realistically, this fight should have been over after round one. The fight was over after round one. The ref legitimately stopped it with 3 seconds left. And I said to my chat, I don't know, man. I feel like he could have just let it go for 3 more seconds, but it is what it is. Frevola was probably out. And then they just sit on their stools. And I'm like, wait, why are they on their stools? He continues the fight. I kid you not, the referee stops the fight with 3 seconds left. And then somehow he continues it. And then the commentary was like, well, it's a mistake, was what they said. The ref made a mistake, was the official thing that came out. Which is fine. He's a human. Mistakes happen. I understand that. But is that really a mistake? You did stop the fight. It's not like, so can we just do that for every fight then? Every time you stop the fight early. Why didn't you do that for Johnny Walker Ain't Alive when Johnny Walker got illegally kneed and then he said he was okay, but they still called the fight. And then he tried to fight Ain't Alive. Why didn't you just restart the fight then? There's so many times you could have restarted a fight over a bad finish, a bad stoppage, a bad call. But for this fight, you do it? Crazy. I picked Kyle Nelson, I think so, by like a first round KO. I almost got my pick right. But it is what it is. Kyle Nelson didn't get it done. But, he looked good. This was a great scrap as well. I got to say, I didn't even say this. This card is one of the best cards I've ever seen. I should have said that. Maybe I'll, expand on the end. But expand on the end? Expand on it at the... Expand on the end sounds like a John Jones kind of party. But yeah, one of the best cards I've ever seen. And this was a sick fight. So yeah, go check it out. Kyle Prepolec, Drew Dober, another sick fight. I picked Drew Dober to win, actually, by first round KO, I think. Prepolec is not good. I don't rate him very highly. I think he's shit, and he showed me that in this fight that he's shit. What do you want me to say, man? He's not good, but Drew Dober is very good. It was still a fun fight, but like Kyle Prepolec is not good. He fights like an old man. It's kind of crazy. Like Davey Grant is a legit old man, and Prepolec fights more like an old man than old man Davey Grant. And Drew Dober, he won. This was a low blow as well. This was probably a worse low blow than the Kevin Holland one. And I was worried this fight wasn't going to continue, but then, they bring it back. And Drew Dober, as soon as the fight is called in, I think Drew Dober did lose a point, by the way, right? I think he did. Did he? Yeah, I think he did. See, that's interesting, right? Drew Dober low blowed him, once or twice? He lost the point. Mike Malott low blowed Kevin Holland. He didn't lose a point. That's very interesting, but, Canadian bias, it is what it is. But Drew Dober just instantly KOs Kyle Prepolec after the low blow thing. So Prepolec, he takes the break. They call the fight back in. KOs him. Crazy. He should have fought like that since round one, but he was trying to fight like a more, I don't want to get chinned type of performance. I feel like that's what it was. Like he was just scared of getting chinned. He was trying to fight a little bit more patient. I'm like, bro, you're getting pieced up by Kyle Prepolec. He had a busted shin. Pause. Drew Dober had a busted shin. He had a nose coming down his blood. He had blood coming down his nose. He was like, it wasn't in good shape, bro. He should have just fought like that from the get-go, but instead he wanted to fight a patient fight. When he finally fought like the Drew Dober we all know and love, he got a KO instantly. So, I think he also beat the record for most KOs at lightweight, which is cool. So, Cody Gibson versus this guy. I don't know who I picked to win this. I think I picked Cody Gibson maybe. This guy KO'd him within like a second. Cool. Bruno Silva, Young Sung Park. Another great war. Another great scrap. I think I want to say Young Sung Park. I think so. I don't know my own picks. I'm going to be honest. I picked Cody Gibson, by the way. I said that already. I think I picked Young Sung Park. Yeah, he didn't win, but it was a fun fight. But he kind of just got out scrapped. He got out jujitsu'd, out grappled, out scrapped. He's good, but I just think he's a little bit too young for these fights. And I think I don't know. I just think it's a little bit too much too soon. Even though Bruno Silva's like low ranked and he's not really that amazing, he really only has lost to good opponents. Also, Bruno Silva had like, Kamaru Usman acne on his back. So that's all I'm saying. He's CEO, VPO at flyweight of all divisions is crazy. But Bruno Silva, he won, third round submission. Pretty impressive performance. Very fun fight. Good scrap. Go check it out. Danny Barlow versus Djorden Santos. Another fun fight. I picked Danny Barlow to win. I got it wrong. Not much to say here. And then Stephanie Luciano versus Ravena Oliveira, the fight of the night. This fight was all right. This was a solid scrap as well, I think I picked Luciano, via a something. And, yeah, she won a submission. So, cool. Yeah. And then, all right, let's get to this. Is actually a good fight. Azamat Bekoev versus Yousri Belgori. Now, I'm one of the few guys, I think, glaze me a little bit. All right, chat guys, glaze me, pause. But I'm one of the few guys, I'm pretty sure, on this platform that picked Belgori to win. Because I saw a lot of people picked Azamat Bekoev to win. A lot of people, from what I saw. But he's got the KO power. He's got good grappling. He's this, he's that, he's tough. My whole thing was, look, Yousri, he trains with Alex Pereira. He's beaten Alex Pereira many years ago, but he has beaten Alex, I'm pretty sure. He also has been KO'd by Alex, to be fair. He trains with Alex. He trains with Glover, so I would imagine his grappling is good. Trains with Alex. And, bro, Bekoev, after that initial, striking burst that he has, he does gas. You saw that in the Ryan Loder fight. Yes, he KO'd Ryan Loder, but he did slow down before he, kind of picked back up and got that KO. But if Ryan Loder actually threw back, maybe it could have been different. But Ryan Loder's a wrestler. And I said, Belgori is very good. He is good. He has power. Not an insane amount of Alex Pereira level power, but he has power. He's got accurate strikes. He's tall. He's rangy. He's got good kicks. He can stay at range really well and pick apart at Bekoev. He's got a good chin. He's got good cardio. I said all these things. And I was right. Bekoev, he kind of broke. And Belgori finished him in round 3 with a TKO. It was good. It was a fun fight. It was a fun scrap. Belgori had his moments and Bekoev had his moments and it was back and forth. But overall, Belgori won all the rounds before round 3. So, I say all the rounds like there was 30 of them. He won rounds 1 and 2. He was obviously winning round 3. He broke Bekoev a little bit, man. Bekoev he was gassed, and also I think he was a bit, he doesn't move his head a lot. I said this in my predictions. He doesn't move his head a lot. He really doesn't. He doesn't move his head. I don't think he has the best gas tank, especially the way he likes to fight in round 1. And his wrestling is good, but not good enough to hold down Belgori and just submit him or just mog him. Belgori's good. I know he's coming off of a few losses. I think he lost on the Contender Series, maybe. I don't look at those, man. I just sit here and I just pick who I think is gonna win. I don't care about losses. He won, so I take a lot of pride in this pick. Please glaze me for it. But yeah, overall, really, really sick scrap. Belgori could actually be something at middleweight. He might be the guy to beat Hamzat, man. I don't know. He's really good though. Melissa Croden versus Tainara Lisboa. Melissa Croden, man, I picked her to win, actually. I picked her to win because I said, you know what? She's making her debut, and she's Canadian, so I think I said a first-round KO. I don't know. Overall, this was a tremendous card. One of the best cards I've ever seen. Some of the best fights, honestly, I've ever seen, or at least of the year. Some weird results like the main event. Some great results, though, overall. I love this card. I love you guys. RDR didn't get it done, but it is what it is. He's nothing like this. He's nothing like DDP, so it is what it is. Like, comment, share, sub. Let me know if you got your picks right. I'm sorry if this video was a bit unbearable because of my voice. I'm sorry. It's gone. I was yelling so much because Brendan Allen won. Nah, but it is what it is. Like, comment, share, sub. See you guys, and peace.